Hey everyone, how's it going? So I hope you guys enjoyed the holidays. I'm now back from all of that. And it's perfect timing too, because we actually have an update on the Rick Grimes movie. Scott Gimple actually talked with Entertainment Weekly and gave a bunch of new details, talked about some casting, the director, the story, some Rick Grimes stuff, talked about Michonne a little bit, which I do find interesting. I am going to have to do a separate video on the Michonne thing because what he says is very, very interesting, but I will mention it a little bit in here. So of course, before we jump in, I do have to warn you for spoilers for The Walking Dead, obviously. And also, if you want more Walking Dead content like this in terms of reviews and information breakdowns, we are at the start of a new year right now. The Walking Dead is coming back next month. We're like 40-something days away, right? A lot more information is going to be coming in. I will leave a link down below to this article from Entertainment Weekly, and I do suggest checking with them here and there because at the top of the article, it does say in part 1 of our comprehensive Walking Dead overview sit down, Scott M. Gimple gives an update on the Rick Grimes story for the big screen. So this is part 1. How many parts are there going to be? 3 parts, 4 parts, 2 parts? I have no idea. I don't know when they're going to release it. Could be tomorrow, but it could be next week. Who knows? This could be a weekly, I guess, interview thing. Maybe it's not with just Gimple. Maybe Angela Kang will be next week talking about season 10. Maybe it'll be with other actors. I'm not sure, but like I've been saying for a while, as soon as we hit the new year, that's when all this stuff's going to start coming out. And yeah, so if you want breakdowns and discussions on all this stuff, just make sure to be a subscriber. So to break down the interview completely, like I said, I will leave a link down below if you want to read the full thing. I'm just going to be summing up what I read. The first thing that he does touch on is that they do have a general idea of where they're going to film and just other things in terms of production and timing and stuff like that. I think they're just waiting on a couple of factors and stuff before they get into filming. So what does that mean exactly? Does it have anything to do with casting, general behind the scenes stuff? Most likely, I think they're actually working on the script still, but they're just refining certain aspects to it because later on he's asked about Heath and other people and he can't confirm whether or not Heath will be in the movie. But based off what he says, it seems like there's going to be a general storyline, but that little aspect of the movie, like whether Heath is going to be in it or something or stuff like that anyways, they're just playing around with right now. So that does seem to be the case with a lot of scripts. I mean, things change all the time. You could be filming and things are going to change, right? So I think they generally know what they're going to be doing with this movie. They know who's going to be in it. I think there's just certain other things like can Corey Hawkins, I guess, just generally do the movie, right? Like, is he actually going to be willing to do it? I know Pollyanna McIntosh is likely going to be in it, which I'm excited for. And that makes a lot of sense. You want to have Jadis in this first one, obviously. Who knows about the second or third one? It depends on what they do with that character. I hope they keep Jadis around until the second movie at least. I know that's a character that is likely going to die in this trilogy. I don't see her surviving just because, I don't know. I think she's going to die in this trilogy. I just hope it's not the first movie. If it happens, it happens. And obviously, I'm just saying this more of as a fan. I would like to see some characters from The Walking Dead survive a little bit, but obviously I'm not too like, they're going to do what they're going to do, right? They got to service the story first. They have to ignore what fans want, basically. So it seems like they're practically done at this point. I would assume anyways. I feel like in terms of writing the script, what they mean by refining it, I think anyways, is that they're adding a few moments here and there. There might be a moment in the story that is a little weak. And so they're thinking, well, what if we bring this character here? What if this character says this or does this? And what if we do that? How is that going to affect other parts? So that is exciting because they actually know what's going on with the script. And he does say, like, throughout the last entire year, they've been working on this thing the entire time. And it doesn't seem like he's just been like sitting around. He's actually been working really, really hard on this thing and really, really taking it seriously, which I am very, very happy about. Like, I'm very happy that they're taking their time with this because, like, Gimple does say in his interview that he is taking this thing very seriously for the fans. And I like that because obviously, he's gotten a lot of shit and stuff for all the Carl stuff a couple years ago, but he did do Rick's final episode, which is an episode that, I mean, it's my favorite episode of all time, right? I did my top 10 episodes the other, I guess last week or whatever that was. Gimple wrote, or maybe he co-wrote, I can't remember, but he was a part of my favorite episode of all time. So yeah, the Carl thing was, I definitely disagree with it, but obviously he knows what he's doing to a certain extent, right? So we'll see what happens with this. Like, he's taking his time. He does also say that there's going to be no director, so they haven't gotten that far. They might have a few ideas, maybe. Like, is Nicotero going to do it? I don't think Nicotero's going to do it. I just think he's really busy with like Creepshow and then obviously The Walking Dead. Fear the Walking Dead, this third show, most likely, I would assume he would be a part of it. He's probably super busy. Maybe he'll do the second or third film potentially. Obviously, he'll be a part of the movies in some sense. But yeah, in terms of a director, I'm really curious to who they're going to get because they could probably get some big name directors. They really could. Because Gimple does say this movie is going to be in theaters. EW asks, like, is it going to be in theaters for a couple days? Then all of a sudden it's streamed online or whatever. And he says, no, it's going to be in theaters. It's going to be like a movie. Like you go to the theaters, you watch a movie at whatever times you go watch a movie at, and it'll be there for what, a month or two? Some movies are there for 3 months. Walking Dead depends on the success and all that. That movie could be in theaters for like a month or two potentially. And then afterwards, it might be available on, like, say, Netflix and stuff like that, which is the case with all movies. Like, all movies that come to theaters, a few months later, 4 or 5 months later, they're always on a streaming service. So I'm happy about that because he also does say that this movie is going to have a really, really big budget. It's going to be way bigger than a television show. I mean, it's a movie budget. It's going to be widescreen. You're going to have to fill a lot more in that sense. It doesn't seem to be a small scale television show, if you could even say The Walking Dead is small scale. I guess you could argue that it is. A lot of their environments are like just the woods and stuff like that. But he also does confirm that the trilogy is still happening, or I guess I shouldn't say trilogy. It's 3 movies. Maybe that they're calling it a trilogy, but it's still happening because I know a lot of people, or some people anyways, were saying that there's not going to be a trilogy. It's just going to be 1 movie, but he does say 3 movies is still the plan right now. But I don't think this first movie is going to tank. This first movie is going to be very, very successful because everybody wants to see a Rick Grimes movie. They really, really do. Where I think there could be some concern is if the story is just generally bad, because if the story is bad, no one's going to tune into to 2 and 3, right? So maybe we won't get a second movie or a third movie. I think we will get a second movie for sure, but maybe not the third one. Like, think realistically about that. They'll release the first one, they'll make a ton of money. Maybe the story's bad, so for sure it gets bad reviews, but they probably still will do a second movie. But after that, they might not do a third one. I don't know. I don't think it's going to be bad. Like, personally, I think this movie is going to be either, well, at the worst, I think it's just going to be an average movie. We're going to go in and we'll be, I don't know. It's even hard for me to believe that it's just going to be average because I guess maybe just as a hardcore Walking Dead fan, just seeing Andrew Lincoln as Rick Grimes on screen is going to be amazing. And I think to the general moviegoer, I think they'll also be, captivated by Andrew Lincoln's performance because, I mean, when that guy's on screen, he's amazing at what he does. The story is the key thing here, and I really can't wait to see what they do with that. Gimple also does say that, he doesn't say that Michonne's likely going to be in the movie. They ask him, is Denai Guerrera after The Walking Dead going to the Rick Grimes movies, and he doesn't say anything because he says that what they have planned for Michonne, he doesn't want to get ahead of any of that, because they worked really hard on that, and so he's not going to comment, basically anyways. And so, like I said, I do want to talk about that in a separate video. I want to get into exactly what he said because that's kind of interesting. I still really think that Michonne is going to be in these movies, that in the next couple of episodes, she's going to find out that Rick's alive. I just have that feeling. And he does also comment on the general direction for the first movie anyways. Like, we're going to see Rick Grimes in a new story, in a new direction. Everything on the television show has prepared him for this moment. And so I am really excited to see a Rick Grimes in a movie universe. Andrew Lincoln definitely deserves it. And this film is going to be, it's just going to be epic in so many ways. Can you imagine actually sitting there in a theater, seeing him on screen for the first time? And it's going to be a different format because a movie is so much different than a television show. On a television show, you're able to take your time with the story because you have to plan out an entire season. With a movie, yes, this will be 3 movies, so you don't have to get to the conclusion of certain, overall, storylines, but you do have to put out a movie with a really good storyline. There has to be a payoff watching this movie because you might not get a second or a third one, so I just really can't wait to see what it's going to look like visually, because obviously Rick Grimes is going to be wearing a completely different outfit. He's going to look very different, and I think he's overall going to be a different person because, yeah, the dialogue will be the same and the way he's acting will be the same. We'll still be able to recognize him as Rick Grimes, but it's going to be at a movie pace, so things will be very, very different. That's what I like about what Scott Gimple said here, is because he says that, the movie is not just going to be a larger version of the television show. It's going to be a movie. So stop thinking this is going to be a TV movie sort of thing, because this is going to be an epic film. It's going to be, I guess, cinematic, right? Which is something I've been really wanting for The Walking Dead, because we have a lot of zombie movies that have come out and they're definitely, obviously cinematic. You have the budget for all the backdrops and, the green screen stuff or whatever you want to do with that. And you see some movies sometimes and they look so insane visually that I want The Walking Dead. I think The Walking Dead deserves that. They've been on for 10 years now. They deserve to have something like that because I think it's just going to be epic. But yeah, that's what Scott Gimple had to say. He actually gave some pretty important updates. I'm happy to know where they're at right now. It seems that the script is basically done. They're just refining certain parts to it, which is, that'll probably be happening while they're filming too. Obviously Andrew Lincoln and Pauline McIntosh, I think they met recently or a month ago in LA. So That was probably to talk about when they might film roughly and certain things with the story. The trilogy is still planned. They're doing all of that. There's no director yet. So it seems like they're definitely still in pre-production, but everything is getting in order, and I can see them filming for sure within 6 months, or in about 6 months for sure. Definitely this year. They're for sure filming this year. Like, if they waited a whole other year, I'd be pretty shocked. But let me know what you guys all think. Are you excited for the Rick Grimes movie? Post your thoughts down below. Hope you guys all enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.